Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am streaming to you live from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a good start to their week. You're staying healthy, you're staying strong, you're staying productive, optimistic, and happy. Hi Akshay, Yuvi, Ali, Mdadul, Arjun, Nguyen, Angel, good to see many students in the class. Welcome members. Hi Hans, hi Fadil. Good to see our chat moderator in the class, Carolina, as well. Welcome everyone. In this class, we are looking at IELTS Speaking Part 1. We're going to talk about how to start your speaking interview with a Band 9 score. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com, as well as IELTShelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. Now, this is a speaking class, so make sure to speak lots. Repeat what I say. Copy my intonation, my pronunciation, my fluency as much as possible. So make sure to speak and repeat. Copy questions as well as answers. When you hear new words, write them down. Make a vocabulary list. It's a great way to study. All right, everyone. While we wait for a few more of your peers, our websites look like this. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. You can click this big red button to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and it doesn't really cost much at all, so well worth it. We are a British Council IELTS Registration Center and certified agents, so you're in good hands with us. General IELTS looks like this at gieltshelp.com. Again, click that big red button to join our premium package there. To follow us on Instagram, just look for IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTSHelp. Of course, you can get our apps as well. And if you have any questions, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. I will gladly answer. Hi, Paulo. Hi, Ali. Good to see more of our students, our members joining in. We've got a full week of classes for you today, starting with today's class, and then we'll have more classes tomorrow and on Friday and Saturday as well. And now let's get into today's speaking. So speaking part 1. The speaking interview of the IELTS exam, for those of you who are unsure, it roughly takes about 12 minutes. It's a 12-minute face-to-face interview. Sometimes they're doing it through computer these days. In many cases, they're doing it face-to-face with an examiner who is either a native speaker in most cases, and in some cases, a non-native speaker who has an exceptionally high level in the English language. So be ready for different kinds of accents when you go for your speaking interview. The way to start off with a Band 9 in your speaking interview is to get to your exam center nice and early. I keep emphasizing that. I keep reminding you about that. And it's not enough just to get there early, but you have to practice, okay? The brain is an extremely complicated piece of biological machinery, and it takes time for the brain to reach its maximum function, its maximum ability. So one of the first and most important steps to getting that high band score, that Band 9, is to go to the exam center early. And make sure to practice your English with others before your interview. Okay, so practicing your English with other candidates or with some other people before your IELTS speaking interview is definitely going to help you to get a better band score because it will help you to improve your fluency and your thinking in English, and it will also help you with something else. What else will it help you with? So when you go to the IELTS exam center early, you find some other candidates, you introduce yourself, you ask them to practice a little bit of English with you, you show them some questions, some practice questions for the speaking, and they say, hey, okay, yeah, let's sit down, let's practice a little bit. That's going to really improve your what? Adam Tang says that will also help to improve your confidence. That's right, Adam, 100%. Yeah. So when you approach a stranger to help you with what you have mutually in common, which is sitting the IELTS speaking interview, that will definitely help your confidence as well, Adam. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the biggest hurdles for many people, especially their first time in the IELTS, is confidence. They get really nervous and anxious, and it's very difficult to speak clearly in any language. Okay, so it will also help you to be confident. Okay, so that's the other big reason that you want to do that. All right, so that's what you're doing. So you go to the exam early, you practice with somebody else, you build your language, you build your confidence, and then you register about 20 minutes before your interview. And you get called into the examination room. The examination room is a nice quiet room with the examiner. They'll be there, they'll be waiting for you. And then they're going to introduce the exam first. So they'll say, welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. It has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. It's candidate number 97312. We are conducting this exam in San Francisco at 14 o'clock. Now we shall begin. Okay. Oh, and sometimes the examiner might look a little bit grumpy. Sometimes they might be very smiley. They usually should be kind of serious, just like a job interview. Okay, that's the way they should be. But they're human. Your goal is to get a high band score. Do not worry about the affect, means the emotions of the examiner. Okay, be professional, be yourself. That's what's important, okay? And then the examiner will likely ask you, before anything, because they have to have proof of your identity. So the first question they will ask you is, may I see your identification? So they will ask for your identification. Now, right away, from this very first question, think complete, fluent answers, okay? All right? Hans, the interaction, if you do it through the computer, will be stable. The computer-based exam is still done at an exam center where they guarantee a stable connection. If by some very rare chance it's not a stable connection in the computer-based speaking interview, you will get to redo it, okay? They will not take that mark away from you, okay? So Angel says, here's my passport, which I used to register for this exam 2 weeks ago. Please have a look. Angel, watch your grammatical mistakes. Okay, so from the very first question, be fluent and answer in full sentences. Boom. Okay, very, very important. All right. Ken Van Bao says, this is my passport, which I used to register for this exam. Please take a look. Okay, tell him to take a look. Please take a look. It's very natural. Fahim says, yes, sir. Here's my passport that I used to register for this exam. Sure. Just one time, students, in the chat. Okay, just one time your answer, please. Don't spam the chat. It's awkward for others. Honey Brar says, yes, I was expecting this question. So here are my credentials. Please have a look. It's kind of weird to tell them that you were expecting the question, even though you were, and they know you were in many cases. It's a bit awkward to tell them that. So I wouldn't do that. I was wondering when a student would actually say that, but I wouldn't do that personally. So we all are expecting some of these questions like, what is your name? But it's weird to say, oh yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that. So don't say that. That's kind of, yeah, that's a good point, and I've never touched on that, but you should not say, even if it's true, I was expecting that you would ask me that. Okay. It's true. While this is true, it is awkward to express this. So I wouldn't. Okay. That's a good point. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Anil says, yeah, sure, here's my passport with my personal details. Yeah, Anil, that's good. Okay. So repeat after me. May I see your identification? Yes, sure. Here's my passport with my personal details. Please have a look. Okay, so give it a full sentence. Do not just say yes, sure, and then hand the passport. That's awkward. Okay. All right. I don't know about you, but when I'm traveling, even when I go through customs and the customs officer asks me for my passport, I usually say something a little bit more than just yeah, sure. I go, yes, of course, here it is. Please have a look. Or yes, definitely. Just give me a moment to show it to you. So I always say something a little bit more even there. So definitely say more during your speaking interview. Okay, so the next question that you are going to be asked is, what is your full name? And again, use this opportunity to give a full sentence answer. So Dukant Ding is asking a really good point. Does being awkward cost you points? That's a really, really clever question. Yeah, okay. So while everybody's answering that, I'll address that question because that was a good one. And students, if you have questions, and if I can catch them in the chat or Carolina can, that's great because we can give you some good tips. So that was a really good question. Does being awkward cost you points in the speaking? And the answer there, okay, and again, as some of you may know, my background comes from psychology, and in psychology we study a lot of these different parts of human emotion and interaction and communication, and being awkward does cost you potentially some marks indirectly. So the examiner is not going to say something like, ooh, that's really awkward. That's going to cost you some points. Okay. But indirectly it does, because it can lead to incoherence, lack of fluency, okay, and unnatural language. Okay, so when we create awkward statements or awkward situations, even think about it in your own language. It can kind of lead two people into the situation of like, what are you saying? What are you asking? What did you? What was that? Okay, what? So it kind of does lead to these kinds of like, everybody's looking around in the room kind of situation, and you want to avoid that. Okay, so being awkward, although might not be a language mistake, can be a communication mistake. Okay, so it can. All right. So let's see some answers for this. T21 Gaming says my full name is Stanley Lawrence. You can call me Stanley. Yeah, or maybe Stan for short. Okay, Stanley is often Stan. All right. Leah says my family name is Urunbayeva and my given name is, please just call me Leah. Okay, so your given name is Leah, obviously. All right. AR Miha says, my full name is Jidan Ahmed. You can call me Jidan. That's my nickname. It doesn't sound like your nickname. It sounds like your actual given name. Don't make mistakes in the introduction of your name, okay? That's really awkward, and a Band 8, Band 9 student would never, or candidate would never make a mistake introducing who they are. A nickname is not your authentic given name. A nickname is an adopted name, okay? So, you might say something like, my given name is Jackson, and my family name is McIsaac. Please just call me Jack for short. Okay, the short version of the name. All right. So something like this, okay? Be very careful. Be clear on the fact that a short version of the name is when you have the long version like Jackson and you take off a piece like SON and you end up with Jack. That would be the short form. A nickname would be something like call me JJ, okay? Please just call me by my nickname JJ, okay? For example. All right, so that would be a nickname for Jackson because it's a very different name. All right, so again, what is your full name? My given name is Jackson and my family name is McIsaac. Please call me Jack for short. Okay, or please just call me by my nickname JJ. All right, so be very clear on what nickname and for short mean. Okay, don't make mistakes with that. All right, and then you will get some warm-up questions that are very, very general. Be very confident answering these. So the next question is, where do you live? Okay. Now, when you answer the question of where do you live, think about it like Google Maps. Okay. So think macro, micro. So country, city, province, and then think about the actual residence. So do you live in a house? Do you live in an apartment? Okay, do you live in a townhome? Give a very specific answer. You can start with the small, so you can start with your home, and then you can go to the big, which city it's in. Or you could start with the big, the province, the city, and then go to the small, like a townhome or an apartment. Okay, so but give again a nice, full sentence answer for this one. Okay. So Vera says, I live in Indonesia. Okay, Vera, and where in Indonesia? What city? And do you live in a house or in an apartment? Shushma says, I live in Chhattisgarh. Okay, I'm guessing that's a city or a town. And where do you live? What kind of a residence? Okay. Desmond says, I live in Changping, a district of Beijing. It's a district situated in the suburbs in the northwest of Beijing with a population of about 2 million people. Okay, Desmond, and do you live in a house or in an apartment? So where do you specifically live? Okay. All right, SRV does says, I've been living with my parents in Ambala, a small town in Haryana. Okay, in a 2-bedroom house. All right, that would be the ending of that to finish that idea. So being specific, being very visual and accurate in your communication, accuracy is very, very important. Okay, Fadhil Ash says, I live in a house near the train station in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Okay, very good. Big house, small house, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom. Might as well say that. You'll pick up points for fluency, for accuracy, for good communication. Okay. Paulo Reese says, I live in a 3 bedroom house in a very calm neighborhood in Contagem by the side of the Belo Horizonte, capital of our state of Minas Gerais. I've been living there since I was born. Very good, Paulo. So that's a nice, clear answer for your audience. Absolutely. Ken Fambao says, my hometown where I live in an average house in Vung Tau City in Bao Ryu, Vung Tau Province, an attractive tourist city in Vietnam. Very good, Ken Pham. That's good. Okay, that's nice. Watch your grammar a little bit, but overall quite good. Muaz Abdallah says, I live in a suburb located on the northern side of the capital city of Khartoum in a 2 bedroom house. Very good, Muaz. That's exactly what we're looking for. So I live in a 2 bedroom, 3-story townhome in the heart of Victoria, which is the capital city of the province of British Columbia. Okay, so again, giving clear, accurate details will be very, very important to get high band scores in your speaking. If you give general answers, it's virtually impossible to get those band 8, band 9 answers, okay? So you really have to focus on giving details, okay? And then they might ask you a question like this. It is conversational style. The introduction part 1 is really specifically about you, okay? So keep it about yourself. And the examiner can very easily ask you a question like this. What is close to your home? So what's near your home, okay? Give a nice full sentence answer for this one. So what's close to your home? What's nearby? Now think quantitative. So 2 blocks away, 1 minute walk, 500 yards, 1 kilometer, within a stone's throw. Okay. So what is near or what is close to your home, right? Visualize, think about it. You should know what's close to your home. Bus station, train station, grocery store, fitness gym. Ali says, near to my home is the famous monument, the Charminar, just 500 meters away. Okay, Ali, I'm not sure what that is, but that's a good answer, okay? Martabar says, the underground is really close to my house. It's literally 1 block away from my apartment. So it's very convenient for me to commute around the city quickly and cheap, right? The underground is the metro or the subway, okay? Pritam Roy says, my apartment is close to the local shopping market in Dum Dum where people can get food items and clothes at low cost. Yeah, Pritam, make it about yourself, where I can get food items and clothes at low cost. Okay? Paulo, even if you feel that it's a broad question, narrow it down. Give a clear answer, okay? You shouldn't say, oh, that's a broad question. You should just answer it. There's a school near my home as well as a park where I like to take walks in the morning and a shopping center where I can buy my food and clothing for a good price, okay? These are all within 5 to 10 minutes walking distance. That would get you the band 9, Okay. Hans says there's an international airport about 20 minutes by car, and also there are a lot of shopping centers about 10 kilometers from my house. Hans, that would not be considered near your home. Okay. So you have to be really careful. If you give an answer like that, the examiner right away is thinking that you're not understanding the questions, or you're trying to use memorized answers. Okay. So take a note of this, students. Be sure to have accuracy is very important. Okay. Otherwise, so just like I caught that, Hans, the examiner will catch it too, okay? 20 minutes by car is not considered close to your home. Even if you live on a farm or in a rural area, then you would say there's a windmill or a river near my home, or my neighbor is about a kilometer away, okay? Because I live in a rural area, there aren't any shopping centers nearby, but my neighbor lives about a kilometer away, okay? So you still have to say landmarks, monuments, nature that's near your home, okay? So be sure to have accurate answers. Otherwise, the examiner may feel that you do not clearly comprehend the questions, and or you are using memorized answers, and you don't want that. Okay, that's a bad situation. So close to my home, within 5 minutes walking distance, I can get to a major supermarket where I buy my groceries. Also, there is a library and a park where I like to take morning walks. In fact, I was there this morning for some fresh air. Okay, without over speaking too much. All right, so now an idiom that I'll teach you here as well that you can practice in the future, close to home or close by, is just a stone's throw away. Okay, so let's do this two ways. One with minutes, one with just a stone's throw away. So repeat after me, okay? What is close to your home? Near my home, within 5 minutes walking distance, I can get to a major supermarket where I buy my groceries. Also, there's a library and a park where I like to take morning walks. In fact, I was there this morning for some fresh air. Okay? I'm changing this to near my home because the question is close to. So I'm trying to paraphrase that to have more lexical resource. So one more time, what is close to your home? Near my home, just a stone's throw away, I can get to a major supermarket where I buy my groceries. Also, there's a library and a park where I like to take morning walks. In fact, I was there this morning for some fresh air. Good. Now you're on a roll. Now you're showing fluency, clarity, complexity, accuracy. These are really what are needed to get those high band scores. Okay? All right. And then the examiner will introduce the specific yet general topic of part 1. And they might say something like, let's talk about dogs and cats. Okay, it's a common topic, dogs and cats, pets around the world. And it's all about you. Okay, you. So your answers should be for part 1. Me, Me, myself, I. Okay. So, first question here. Do you own a dog or a cat? Do you own a dog or a cat? Again, give a nice full sentence answer for this one. Pratam says, that's an emotional question. I do not own a dog or a cat at my home, but I love dogs so much and I want to have one so badly, but my mom doesn't allow me to have one. Okay. Pratam, good. Students, don't get emotional. So really try to, even if it's something that has personal impact on you, like you had a dog but your dog died, hopefully it didn't pass away like 2 days before you have your IELTS exam and this topic comes up. That would just be horrible luck. But you want to be emotionally distanced from the topics in the speaking, okay? So it's nothing personal. You're there to do a job. The IELTS examiner cannot know what happens in everybody's life before they come to the exam. So they just try to ask some general questions. Make it emotionally impersonal, okay? So be you, be real, but try to just remember that it is an exam. You're not there to talk to a psychologist or a therapist, okay? So don't get too emotional. All right. Akshay says, yes, I like dogs and I also have a dog, Alex, that my father gifted to me on my 20th birthday. Okay, Akshay, answer the question directly. Yes, I own a dog. His name is Alex. I got it for my 20th birthday from my dad. He's a mid-sized poodle, black in color. I love the little guy. All right, so answer the question directly. Kyber says, unfortunately, I neither own a cat or a dog. Simply, it's not in our culture to keep these pets at home. I love animals, though. All right, Kyber, that's fair. That's a good question. I like your explanation. Okay. All right. Joban says, no, I don't like pets and animals, so I don't have a cat or a dog. All right, Jaban, why don't you like cats and dogs? Why don't you like pets? Make sure that if you're going to go with a negative answer, so if you're going to say a negative answer like, no, I don't have a cat or a dog, give a brief explanation. You still have to show your fluency. Just because the answer is no doesn't mean that you should not be fluent. That is one of the big mistakes that students make when they give negative answers. Okay. Martaber says, at this very moment, I don't own a cat or a dog. However, me and my family members are very fond of animals, and we used to have a dog and a cat when I was a kid. Okay, what were their names, Martaber? Yeah, very good, right? So that's a nice, clear explanation. VG Pusala says, well, I don't own a pet cat or a dog, but I have 3 puppies in front of my house, which I feed every day. That I feed every day, which usually for inanimate items, objects. Okay. MT15 says, I love dogs and I have a dog. My dog is named Jagu. My father gifted it to me on my birthday. Okay, good. So those are some clear explanations. Fudheel says, currently, I don't own a cat, but I used to own one back in my hometown. She was a great cat with brownish fur. Very nice, Fudheel. So details and explanations. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Quinn Anyun says, now I don't have permission from my parents to buy a pet, but I really want to get one in the future. I am into poodles these days because they are so cute. Puddle dog? I don't know about a puddle dog. I think you mean maybe a poodle. Okay. So, yeah. Currently, I do not own either a cat or a dog because I do not have enough time to take care of a pet with my business and small children. However, I used to have a small American Cocker Spaniel. I don't know the spelling of that dog's breed, but anyway, American Cocker Spaniel named Jessica. She was awesome. And I plan to buy a dog in the coming years. Okay. So page from my life. Do you own a dog or a cat? Currently, I do not own either a cat or a dog because I do not have enough time to take care of a pet with my business and small children. However, I used to have a small American Cocker Spaniel named Jessica. She was awesome, and I plan to buy a dog in the coming years. Okay, so just remember, students, even if your answer is negative, please don't just say something like, no, I don't have pets. Okay, this will not get you a band 9. Okay, at the minimum, you must explain your answer. Okay, so because I am allergic to cat and dog fur or animal fur, okay? ... I start to sneeze, swell up, turn red. Okay, so you have to give some kind of an explanation so that the examiner can go, oh, okay, there's some lexical resource, some grammatical range and accuracy, fluency. Otherwise, they don't know that, okay? You have to show them that. They're not mind readers. Okay, let's get into some more questions here. So next question, which do you like more, dogs or cats? Okay, again, nothing personal. Don't make it into a vicious debate about which are better. Just go with one, go with the flow. Give your answer, explanation, and example. Okay, so which do you like more, dogs or cats? Okay, Pritam Roy says, I like dogs over cats because I feel dogs are cuter, more helpful, and more loyal. And the most important factor about dogs is they never betray their owners, just like humans. I don't know about humans, Pritam, but unlike humans, right? Humans tend to betray each other probably more often than dogs do. Okay, we say that dogs are loyal. They're very loyal to their masters, so they're dogs, so they're man's best friend. Okay. Joban says, I like dogs the most because I personally believe that dogs are very faithful towards their masters and people feel secure when they have dogs. Okay, good. Let's see some more. Rebel 1 says, without a doubt, I would love to own a cat as I can relate to cats with my personality. They are lazy and do not require a lot of outside time as they tend to stay at home and lounge most of the time. Lounging is like when they're just laying there, licking themselves and doing not much, but just chilling out. So they're lounging. Think about the lounge in a hotel, okay? July says, although I have a fear of pets, as I have mentioned above, I prefer dogs because my boyfriend does love dogs and he treats his dog as a child, okay, or like his child. Okay, very interesting answer, July. That's original, July, so it's very good. Okay, I can tell that you didn't memorize that, but it's a very original answer, and it's very important to give original answers. All right. Let's see. MRK says, I like dogs over cats as they seem to be more loyal than cats. After watching Hachiko movie, which is about a Japanese dog that used to wait for its master near a railway station, even 7 years after his death. Yeah, they're very loyal. That movie, if somebody wants to have a river of tears crying, it's a good one to watch. Absolutely, MRK. Hachiko, yeah, is the name of, I think the name of the movie is the name of the dog as well. Yeah. Okay. Munish says, I like dogs because of their loyalty. Besides this, they're very intelligent and can be helpful in emergency situations. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Very good. Yeah. So you could say something like this. I love both, but if I had to choose... now, this kind of an answer is great because you're introducing a conditional right away. So I love both, but if I had to choose, I would go with dogs for two simple reasons. I owned dogs and not cats growing up, as I had just mentioned. And I'm a bit allergic to cat fur. Also, people do say that dogs have masters and cats have slaves, meaning that dogs tend to reciprocate the love they receive more than cats. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true, but here we go. Okay, so which do you like more, dogs or cats? I love both, but if I had to choose, I would go with dogs for two simple reasons. I own dogs and not cats growing up, as I just mentioned, and I'm a bit allergic to cat fur. Also, people do say that dogs have masters and cats have slaves, meaning that dogs tend to reciprocate the love they receive more than cats. Meaning that the dog always goes up to its master, lays down, looking for a pet. Cats are kind of like, give me some food. As soon as you give them some food, they're like, oh, I'll either stay for a pet or I'm out of here. Thanks for the food. So there's this kind of funny saying with cats and dogs. All right. Let's go to this one. So where do you see dogs usually? How about cats? Okay, so lots of interesting questions on IELTS. Be ready for anything. Okay, so where do you see dogs usually? How about cats? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay, Kyber says, I answered quite similar to you. Very good, Kyber. All right. So, Hans says, in my neighborhood, just singular Hans, in my neighborhood, there's a dog shelter about 5 houses down from mine. I usually see them there, while cats, I usually see them at on the street near restaurants. Okay. Mukul saying something like, suddenly it's raining cats and dogs would be very confusing for your examiner, so don't do that. That means heavy rain. It's very different. Okay. Anand says, I see dogs usually around the neighborhood. They roam around almost everywhere. Most of this time, I see cats as pets at my friend's place. Okay, here you can use some good vocabulary. If you are talking about dogs that do not have a home, there's a special way to say that. If you are talking about cats that live in the streets, there's also a special way to say that in English. Okay? So Kyber says, well, as I mentioned, I don't have any pets, so obviously I see them on the streets. So what is a street dog called? What is a street cat called? Try to think about that. Ali says, I see stray dogs in the streets often and more cats in all of the dust bins in my neighborhood, in the garbage bins. Those also have a special name, those cats. Okay. All right. VG says, in India, we usually find dogs on the streets. We call them street dogs. Other than pets, while cats will be found in the houses or outside restaurants. Okay. Dukan Din, very nice. I often see dogs when I'm jogging in the park, as that's where there are a lot of people walking their pets. Cats are a lot harder to encounter, though. Usually I only see them in the animal shelters. Very nice. Okay. So I often see people walking their dogs on the street near my home or in the park where I took my morning walk. Fortunately, there are virtually no stray dogs in Victoria, but there are some alley cats that I come across every now and again when I'm out early in the morning. Okay. So here we go. Where do you see dogs usually? How about cats? I often see people walking their dogs on the street near my home or in the park where I took my morning walk. Fortunately, there are virtually no stray dogs in Victoria, but there are some alley cats that I come across every now and again when I'm out early in the morning. Okay, so dogs that don't have owners, that kind of wander around in the streets, they're called stray dogs. Okay, and in most parts of Canada, that's very, very rare. We don't really have stray dogs. People do not put dogs out on the street. And cats that kind of live on the streets are usually called alley cats. Okay, so stray dogs and alley cats. Remember those collocations. A Band 8, Band 9 candidate would know those words. Okay, all right. Okay, so here we have some more questions. Why do you think dogs like chasing cats? If you could train a dog to perform a trick, what would it be and why? Have you ever owned a dog or a cat? Can you tell me about it? Okay, so some more questions there for you. You can practice with other students on our websites for those questions. When you create a student account, you can create a student account for free and log in. You will find this student partner speaking button in the website. You can click on that and then start speaking with someone, and you'll usually find somebody chilling out, waiting here, lounging, waiting for somebody to practice their IELTS speaking. It's absolutely free. You can video or audio chat. We have Obin and Mohammed in here right now. So that's where you can practice these remaining questions if you'd like. I'm out of time for today. Again, definitely visit our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS. We've got lots of goodies in there for you, computer-based practice exams. We've got full course, lesson videos, audio CDs, much more. For general IELTS, definitely register here. It's gieltshelp.com. It's specific to general IELTS. Thank you, Eugene, for all those wonderful emojis. Much love back at you, Kyber. Okay. That's it for today. Reza, if that part's not working for you, the speaking part, it might be because you have limitations for chat servers like Skype or WhatsApp in your region of the world. You're very, very welcome, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your day. Tomorrow I will be back with some reading for members, and we'll have listening part 1 and 2 for everyone tomorrow as well. So see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. If it's late in your country, get some good rest. Wake up energized, feeling fresh tomorrow. Stop playing with my screen here. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from the beautiful garden city of Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. Bye, everyone.